Before we start, I would like to inform you that I made some parts of this tutorial to speed up, and for the right reasons of course. This first part of the series will give you a guide on how to model and texture this smartwatch. I suggest you watch the introductory part of this series, if you have not already. It will just give you a clear overview of what to expect. This is not an absolute beginner tutorial, but if you have basic knowledge in Blender, then let us begin. Let's start by changing our units here. Length, from meters to millimeters. As you can see, this cube is quite big. Reduce the unit scale to 0.1 so that we get a reasonable scale to work with. Press A to select everything, then press delete. You can see what I am pressing on my mouse and keyboard from this corner here. Press number pad 1 for front orthographic. Let's add references to our scene. We will use them as guides. The blueprints, reference images and a texture image that we will use later in this video are available for download. Link in the description. Rename this collection that will contain our images. Let's add in another reference image while still in front orthographic view. Rotate it by pressing R, then 90. That will rotate it by 90 degrees. This second image will help us model the straps of the smartwatch. Press 3 on the number pad for right orthographic view. Add this image that contains a view from the side of the smartwatch. Create a new collection that will contain the main objects in the scene. This image has real dimension of the smartwatch. Add in a cube and change size to 44.5 millimeters. Let's rename our images to avoid confusion. Hide this image that will be used to model the straps of the smartwatch. Turn to right orthographic as well and rename this image. Move this image out of the way on the x-axis to your left. Since the cube has the real measurements, scale this image to match this cube. I have assigned Alt/shortcut to toggle X-ray, so that I don't have to go up here all the time. Select this image, press G for grab, then Z to lock the movement to only be on the Z-axis. While grabbing and moving along the Z-axis, hold down Shift key, in order to make smaller increments. Let's do the same to the image for right orthographic view, by scaling and lining it up like this. Select this image and give it some transparency. Check opacity and reduce it to 0.4. And check perspective so that we only see it in orthographic view. Let's unhide the image we will use to model straps and align it as well. Restrict selection mode on this collection that contains our images so that we don't accidentally select anything in it while modeling. Let's adjust this cube further. Hold down Shift key as you scale so that you get small increments. Ctrl+A, then apply scale. Go to edge mode, select these edges, then press Ctrl+B to bevel them. Use mouse wheel to add segments in the bevel. 7 segments should be good. Go to face mode and select these middle faces. Make sure that X-ray is turned on so that the other face in the back is also selected. Press I to insert faces. Let's add an edge that goes round this object. Press K for knife tool. Press X to lock it on the X-axis. Press C so that cut through is turned on. Left click, then enter. We just made an edge loop around this object by using the knife tool. Select this bottom part, then delete faces. Add a mirror modifier. Cut another edge loop around here, just the same way we did a few moments ago. K for knife tool, X to lock on the X-axis and C to turn on cut through. Select these edges and move on the Z-axis like this. Select this edge and move it to follow the shape of the background image. Select these edges. Press E for extrude, then immediately Z to lock it on the Z-axis. Move out this edge. Ctrl+R to add an edge loop here. E for extrude, then Z, check clipping on the mirror modifier. As you can see, we need another edge loop at the back here so that it matches the one in the front. Ctrl plus R to add a loop cut. Front view, then X-ray mode. When still selected, press G twice in order to slide the edge loop to match the one on the front. Hold down Shift key for small increments. Vertex mode and select this vertex. E for extrude, then Z. Select these vertices, fill them with a face by pressing F, fill these empty spaces with faces as well. Add a loop cut here. Deselect these edges. Front orthographic view, and press Alt plus S, to scale the edges along their normals. Vertex mode, select this vertex and adjust it like this. Go to face mode. Select these faces and press P, separate by selection. Now this is a separate object. Hide it. Up to this point, let's save our work. Since we have mirror modifier on this object, we should have deleted these back geometry long time ago. Add mirror to also be on Y-axis. Select these edges and add bevel. Use scroll wheel to control the number of segments. Distribute these vertices like this. Select and bevel these edges as well. Add subdivision surface modifier, you can see it has made things smooth. Add a loop cut here. Add another one here. Right-click, then shade smooth. Increase viewport levels to 2. Add another loop cut here. Select this edge loop and press G twice and slide it up. Select this edge loop and slide it as well. Add another loop cut here. Unhide the object we separated earlier. Delete these back faces, because we are going to replace them in the mirror modifier. Select everything and scale. Select this edge loop. Press E for extrude, then immediately press S for scale. Select the middle faces and insert. Press B to turn off boundary while inserting faces. Now we don't need these faces here. Select these faces and pull them out from right orthographic view. Adjust the geometry like so. Cut for more edges here. This time we don't need to press C. While still selected, make these edges to be at 0 on the X-axis. Select and delete faces. Check X on the mirror modifier. Adjust the geometry like so. Select these edges and bevel with 3 segments. Check mirror on the Y-axis. Insert these faces to smooth things up. Add in a cylinder, and adjust its scale like this. Move it to this side. This will be the knob. When you are OK with the scaling, press Ctrl plus A, and apply scale. Select these faces and adjust. Let's insert faces and pull them out. Insert faces here as well and extrude them out. Select these faces, press Alt plus S, to scale them along their normals. Bevel these edge loop a little. Bevel this one much more. Bevel this one as well. Right-click and shade smooth. Add a cube, scale it to be smaller and apply scale. Tab into edit mode, press G to grab and move it to here. Adjust it so that it matches the strap holders on the background image. Keep adjusting from right orthographic view as well. Select this edge and bevel. Bevel this one as well, with reduced segments. Delete this bottom face. Select these edges and bevel like this. Let's add mirror modifier to this object. I want us to copy the mirror modifier from another object. To do that, select this object first. Then select the object that has the modifier you want last. Go to the modifier drop-down and choose copy to selected. Let's uncheck mirror on Y-axis. Right-click and shade smooth. Add a plane and make it 37 mm. This is for modeling the straps of the smartwatch. Tab into edit mode and rotate on the X-axis by 90 degrees. Press R, then X, then 90. While still in edit mode, press S for scale then X. That will lock the scale to only be on the X-axis. Tab out of edit mode and adjust the position like this. This is the time we need that image that I said we will use in modeling the straps. Adjust this plane so that it fits the length of the strap. Ctrl plus R to add an edge here in the middle. Select this side of this plane, delete faces, then add mirror modifier. Save your work. Let's keep on adding loop cuts and matching up with the background image. Add a loop cut here, press S then Z then 0. We are adding these loop cuts because we will add subdivision surface to this object. Make sure this loop cut is around this first hole. Another loop cut to the last hole. Add more loop cuts to be on the middle holes. Go to Edge mode and select these edges. Bevel with 3 segments. Add a loop cut here. Select these faces, go to Select, then select Similar. Perimeter. As you can see, for me it has selected also the neighboring faces. I don't want that. I will adjust the edge loop here to see if it will work. Now it has worked. Insert the faces. Now select these edges and move them like this to make the holes. Add subdivision surface modifier. Let's scale the selected edges from their individual origins. Scale on the Z-axis, and adjust. Select these and make sure individual origins is selected. Scale to adjust in order to make these holes a little bigger. Check clipping on mirror modifier. Adjust this area here so that we create geometry that will go round this curved tip. Use the knife tool to map out edges. Select this vertex first, then this one last, press M, then merge at last. Bevel this vertex with Shift plus Ctrl plus B, merge these vertices. Merge these ones as well, because we only need quads. Merge these ones so that we get a quad here. Adjust the vertices like this. Add a loop cut here. Shift plus D to copy this geometry and move it up. Add a loop cut here. Add a solidify modifier and bring it up because the order of modifiers in an object is very important. Adjust thickness to 3 mm. Right-click and shade smooth. Add a loop cut here and adjust. Select these edges and bring them up. Add loop cuts and adjust like this. Add a loop cut up here also. Select, align this area and then delete faces. Add more loop cuts, so that the desired shape of the straps is well defined. Add 14 more loop cuts in the middle. Add 5 loop cuts here as well. Adjust these edges by selecting them and press G twice to slide them. Just hold Shift when sliding. While in front orthographic view, add in a cube to model the buckle. Bring it up. Tab into Edit mode and scale. While still in Edit mode, move along the X-axis, and adjust like this. Right orthographic view, tab out of Edit mode and move along Y-axis like this. Add mirror modifier. Add a loop cut here. Right orthographic view and scale on the Y-axis. Add loop cuts here. Select this vertices and adjust like this. While doing this, make sure that X-ray is turned on. Select this face, press E to extrude. Delete these face because we have mirror modifier on this object. Add a loop cut here and move these edges up. Adjust this edges. Add subdivision surface. Right orthographic view, wireframe mode, select these edges and move them up. Add loop cuts to define the corners of this object. Spread these edges out in front orthographic view in X-ray mode. As you can see, I am adding more loop cuts to define the object more and more. Select this face and extrude. Turn off subdivision surface in edit mode for now. Select these faces and delete. Move in these edges. Select these vertices and merge. Extrude this vertex on the Z-axis, and while still it's selected, select this one also, then, merge at last. Fill these edges with a face. Now let's turn back on subdivision surface. Add more loop cuts to make this area defined. Increase levels viewport in the subdivision surface modifier to 2. Right-click and shade smooth. Right orthographic view, X-ray mode, select and adjust these edges by moving and rotating around, to achieve something similar to this. Select the buckle, press Shift+S, then, cursor to selected. Add in a cube, to model the buckle tongue. Scale it and move it down here, and apply scale. Right orthographic view and scale it on the Y-axis. Extrude this face up. Hide this buckle object in order for clarity in the viewport. Scale this face and adjust it like this. Let's create a second panel by clicking and dragging from this corner. Change this to image editor. Let's bring in a reference image, the one named straps01. As you can see, I am adding more geometry, adjusting edges to see if it looks like this reference image I have on the left. I have also added a subdivision surface modifier. Here is just a repeat of what we have been doing in this video. Add a loop cut here, and use the scroll wheel to make 2 cuts. Left-click and scale them on the X-axis. Set the pivot center to median point, if it is still on individual origins. As you can see, I am adjusting this mesh on right orthographic view, and I turn on X-ray when needed. Let's join these panels. Right-click this middle line, join areas, then move cursor to the left and click. Add a cube to make the loops that hold the straps. Hide the straps for now. Scale it on the Z-axis to match with the image. Scale on the X-axis as well. Right orthographic view and scale on the Y-axis. Apply scale. Select these faces and delete. Select these edges, go to top orthographic view by pressing 7 on the number pad. Ctrl+B, to bevel with 3 segments. Select all faces, press Alt+E, then extrude faces along normals. If you want to get more thickness, select this loop of outer faces and press Alt+S. Right-click and shade smooth. Add a bevel modifier and adjust. Go to normals and check auto smooth. Shift+D to duplicate this object. Let's give proper naming of objects in our scene. I have applied mirror modifier and separated this back mesh. Now they are 2 separate objects. Select the straps, tab into edit mode, click on any face, edge or vertex up here. Press L to select linked. P for separate, then by selection. Let's adjust the origin of the upper strap. Select this vertex here, Shift+S, then cursor to selected. Tab out of edit mode, Go to Object, Set Origin, then Origin to 3D Cursor. Do the same thing to the lower strap. Select this vertex here, Shift+S, then Cursor to selected. Tab out of Edit mode. Go to Object, Set Origin, then Origin to 3D Cursor. Add Simple Deform modifier, and select Bend. Adjust the angle and rotate the object, while in right orthographic view. Copy the Bend modifier to the strap on top. Adjust this one as well by rotating and adjusting the angle in the Simple Deform modifier. This adjustment will take some time. Keep in mind that your result will not be the same as mine, and that should be okay. Select the buckle and the rest and bring them down here to match with these straps by grabbing and rotating. Select buckle and the buckle tongue and bring them down here, and adjust. Select the buckle tongue, tab into Edit mode and scale it along the X-axis. Check if it is going through the holes we made or not. If not, go to right orthographic view, turn on X-ray and adjust the vertices. Bring this loops and arrange them here this way, while in right orthographic view. We are done modeling the smartwatch. Let's switch to Shading Workspace. Reduce World Opacity to 0 for clarity. Click on the case. Add a new material. Rename it to Case. Change base color to this code. Bring metallic all the way to 1. Roughness to 0.4. Let's copy the material on the case to other objects. To do that, select the other objects first, then select the case last. Press Ctrl+L, then link materials. Link the same material to the back as well. Select the strap, add new material and rename it to Straps. Change color to this code. Roughness to 0.6. Copy the straps material to these other objects. Select the buckle and add new material. Rename it to Buckle. Bring metallic all the way to 1. Roughness to 0.3. Copy the buckle material to the buckle tongue. Select the display, add new material and rename it to Display. Let's switch to UV editing. In edit mode, press A to select everything. Press U, then unwrap. Press A to select the whole UV map and bring it to the center, this way. Let's add in an image by clicking on Open. You can see the image I am selecting. Let's go back to Shading Workspace. Add in image texture to base color. Choose the image that we have just put on the UV map. Adjust roughness to 0.1. Connect color from the image texture to emission, so that we have some light coming from the display. Turn on ambient occlusion and adjust. We have completed part 1, and I hope you enjoyed. Let's meet in part 2, where we will do animation, lighting, and rendering out the animation as a PNG sequence. Have a nice day.